Hello, everybody. It's Andy here, aka Montolio, and we're back for another Vintage League. And today we're going to be playing some CradleVine, which is what I played in the Vintage Challenge last weekend to 13th place for a 5-2 record. And my list is pretty similar to this. I have made some subtle changes, but we'll go over those in a minute and why I think this deck could be viable in the current metagame. So, first, Legolas's Quick Reflexes. This is a card that I've been toying around with in this list for the last couple months anyways. I've tried it 4 or 5 different occasions, and the card has impressed me. It's quite powerful. For those of you who are unfamiliar what this does, it's split second, so nobody can respond to it. And so its main purpose is to protect one of the main reasons to run this deck in Collector Roof. And your opponent targets it with a Swords to Plowshares, an Abrade, a Lightning Bolt, whatever it may be, dismember, it will keep it alive. One of the better features of this deck, which was unexpected, was the fact that when you tap your creature, you can deal damage to an opposing creature. So the best case scenario is that you've got it on a Hollowvine or a Vengevine, you tap, you deal 4 damage to an opposing creature to remove it out of the way. And so what I did last weekend, which was kind of cool, is I had a Collector Roof and a couple vines in my graveyard. I put this on, I believe it was a Collector Roof, and I attacked in, dealing the Containment Priest 2 damage to be able to bring back my Vengevines at the end of the turn. So I was otherwise in quite a bit of trouble. As this deck is not reliant on its graveyard, there are circumstances where you get into a game state where it really does matter. And so I thought that was kind of a neat feature. And I am running main deck Mindbreak traps, and the reason I'm doing this is obviously this is a page out of Hollowvine and their counter package, but to be able to give me some game against Jewel going off turn 1. Now, it doesn't protect from Workshop Mox the One Ring. One Ring is definitely a problem. Against Hollowvine, if a One Ring resolves, it's extremely difficult to beat it. This deck, because it has Collector Roost, does have game against a ring. And I'll talk about some of the other pieces of this deck as well that can help me against a really tough deck in Jewel. But outside of that, the deck is pretty stock. I have cut the Mox Ruby, which was essentially there to help speed out a Collector Roof and get the added benefit of pumping up a Blazing Root Wall. But I'm going to skew that here now. I don't think it's necessary. Of course, the Mox Ruby did help against a little bit of Tabernacle Insurance. So we're going to move into the sideboard here, and I'm leaning towards running Endurance over Leyline of the Void. Because this deck does not have the capability of protecting the Leyline in play, I just think Endurance might be a better fit. Obviously, having a 3/4 body to boot, should you be able to hardcast it, and of course this deck goes without saying it certainly can, but if not, we can pitch in a hurry. We do have a substantial amount of green cards in our deck, about 50% of it, and I am running things like Grafdigger's Cage. I know it seems weird in a graveyard strategy, Benjamines and Bloodghast, running a Grafdigger's Cage, but against Oath of Druids, it's very powerful. As I said, we're not reliant on our graveyard. The only card that really we can't cast is Bloodghast. We have Black Lotus to be able to do that, but we can hard cast our Benjamines if need be, and being able to stop like a Breach deck. Sorry about that, guys. I just had a telephone call come through. I may have lost my train of thought there. I think we were talking about Grafdigger's Cage. And so it helps against Oath of Druids. It helps against Dredge. It also helps against some of the breach strategies that we're seeing around there. They're just not going to expect me to cast a Grafdigger's Cage, and they're going to have limited ability to remove it once it is in play. I know there's people running around like the deck 84 who just play an outright breach deck. And sometimes you can just catch your opponents off guard with that. Uh, so those are the main functions. I mean, obviously it sets off things like Bolus the Citadel, but it's not really what the function of it is there. It just gives me some added benefit where people don't expect it. Pithing Needle, once again, does help me with Jewel, being able to shut off a One Ring, the worst enemy in the deck, and the rest of it doesn't really need a whole lot of explanations. I am going for the full set of Besagus here. I've got the other two on the sideboard. Once again, helping me with Jewel, removing opposing Bazaar of Baghdad's, Oath of Druids. I could expect that to make somewhat of a resurgence for a big tournament like the Showcase this weekend, so it does give you an added benefit there. I'm coming back to trying Questing Beast again. I know it seems like a little bit of a gimmick, but the One Ring and Jewel are definitely going to be one of the huge players in this tournament coming this weekend. And opponents feel really smug when they resolve the 10th Jewel that they've, or the 10th One Ring between their uh, four metamorphs and their four rings in their deck. They feel like they can sit there on opposing board, and this deck, believe you me, can cast Questing Beast. Particularly as the game goes on, your mana is going to be a lot more developed, and I'm telling you, I've done it a couple times before. Casting Questing Beast, it's just such a great way to end a game. And the rest of the stuff doesn't require a whole lot of explanations. I've got the surgical package here in this deck, and um, couple dismembers to help us against pesky white initiative. All right, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you hanging out. We're going to see you in round one. Okay, here we go. Round one. Don't know what my opponent's playing. I think that this hand is good enough to keep. I always find it interesting keeping non-bizarre hands. This gives me a little bit of insurance against a really broken start. But turn one Collector Roof is pretty decent. Against most decks. Like if this is a bizarre strategy, I mean, my opponent's name has Hollow One in it, but okay. They got Ancestral. Cannot stop that. Well, let's get in. I was thinking I'm going to play Wasteland. I guess Time Walk is the card that scares me. Because if they play Urza Saga, because I have Cradle into play, the Wasteland does not negate the Cradle trigger. It still will tap for mana because it's also a forest. I'm kind of wanting to sandbag it, but what scares me is Time Walk next turn. They're going to have 10 cards in hand. So I guess I'll do it just because of the presence of Time Walk. I don't want them getting construct tokens, given that I have chosen to go a non-bizarre route. I'm a little bit more vulnerable. I'm trying to control here. Okay. I might need to cycle this Hollow One here sooner than later. Because Hull Breacher. Okay. That was a really bad draw. And we'll do this end of their turn. I still, for the same reason, want to hold Wasteland up for Saga. It's more important. Just for the presence of Time Walk. Oh, look at the basics. Okay. So I can Wasteland this now. Or do I cycle this first? I just need to slow them down as much as I can here. Yeah, it's pretty good against me. The funny thing is I can hard cast my Blazing Root Wall here, and I would not be surprised to see this eat a force. Oh, they have Fury. Okay. Cannot stop that. Unless they kill the Collector Root first. Let's see. No, that's simultaneous. Okay. All right. I have, in my testing today, have not had a good time. I've been playing against so many rogue decks. It's really unfortunate. Believe it or not, these root wallers could be strong here. Hopefully they don't have another Fury. Well, we don't need to worry about Saga. Yep. Fable is solid. Ooh, so close yet so far. They can have the treasure token here. Okay. Like at Fury, I'm just completely dead to if they have it. There's not much I can do about that. Braid. Okay. Well, that does not bode well for me. Because this is a Fury that they've got. They're discarding a Braid. Yep. Okay. I mean, I was at 18 life there, but guys, it's there's no way I'm getting out of that. Probably will bring in a couple dismembers. These could be quality for Blood Moon. Okay. I mean, I think we're reasonably well built here. I mean, they do have Force of Wills to be able to stop my Force of Vigors, but Boseiju kills both Blood Moon and Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Very nice. Okay. And let's see. How much do I want that Boseiju? The next question I have is, am I going to cast Collector Root from play into Tabernacle here? I don't know. Like, would a Blood Moon deck run Tabernacle? Probably. I'm going to play it a tiny bit safe here. Get that cradle into play next turn, and we can see what happens from there. Okay, I did get punished. They did not have a tabby. And they had a mock, so is this just like Beseju? Hmm. I don't think they have an Orcish Bowmaster here. Like Fury obviously can mop up some of this, but not enough. All right, nice win for us there. Okay, mulligan this one. It's a nice looking hand, this one. Okay, what do we want to do here, guys? We get tabbed, we get tabbed. Oof. Okay. Hull Breacher could be a thing here. I'll play it a little bit safe and hold up Dismember. Oh, just Lauren revealed? That's it? Maybe a Blood Moon? Blood Moon would be actually pretty nasty if they had it now. Because I don't have an answer to it, but I gave up my Bazaar. Okay, well, we're going to be able to steal the initiative back from them. Well, maybe. I mean, whether my Dismember resolves or not is a different issue. Let's hope. Okay, sweet. Next question is, can we get our vine going? We didn't either. Oh no, guys. This is not good. Had I played the Cradle last turn, which I probably should have, I could have brought the vine back. Can't do anything. All right, here we go. Even next turn, I probably won't. I guess it'll depend on what I can get off my Bazaar. Down the well, yep. Hopefully they bottom it. One bottom, one top. Okay. Ancestral. Well, one thing's for sure is my, yeah, Blood Moon. Yikes. Yeah, jeez. All right. I mean, I'm going to get the initiative here, but I'm really pretty screwed here. Well, presuming I'm going to get the initiative, I don't know for sure. I don't have any basics in my deck either. That was maybe a premature concession. Maybe not, because they had the initiative. There's a Besage who couldn't do anything with it. So a bit frustrating playing against these silly decks, but in fairness, leagues are fun and they're a very poor representation generally of what a metagame is, and I am no different than anybody. I play silly decks in leagues quite often, but I'm wanting to do some serious testing, and really not great for my self-esteem today. I've been getting snowplowed by just completely rogue decks. Okay, let's see, round two. Can't keep that one. This one's great. Not too often you get a turn one Benjamin or double vine. I'm going to keep the basking in hand because of force of vigor potentially. Now, very vulnerable to combo here, but I'm not going to complain. Let's get her going. Excuse me, setting up for turn two kill. No idea what my opponent's on here. They do like graveyard strategies, but I can't see a world where I'm sideboarding into something I don't really know what we're playing against. Just going to try something like this. Sure. I'll keep it. Okay. Just ancestral. Can't stop it. I'm going to hold up the reflexes here, guys. It's not optimal for my Hex Drinker here to not be able to pump it, but I'm presuming this Collector Reef is going to be somewhat problematic for my opponent. Maybe. Okay. Did not expecting Oath of Druids here. So we are going to nuke this thing right now. Well, I don't have to do it until my next turn, but this is the best use of my mana here. Hopefully we don't get punished. I mean, the likelihood they have removal straight up is not great. Oops. I was trying to sequence it so I could use my Wasteland there first, so I could still hold up Legolas's quick reflexes. But truth was, I was tapping out one way or another. The smart player would have waited for me to put the third trigger on the stack and then remove it. So it didn't really matter. But so if this is show an oath, I could be in trouble here. If it's another Oath of Druids, I still have a chance because I'm dealing a lot of damage here. Okay, they put that on my Hex Drinker, or maybe Wasteland. I mean, Hex Drinker has to be a fairly ominous threat right now. Yep. Hex Drinker. Okay, probably losing. I need a Besage here. I have 3 mana. I can deal, so the Hex Drinker, yeah, I can deal 6 damage, which is just not going to be enough. Cycle Hollow one. Okay. My opponent to 6, but as is often the case in this battle, we run up just a bit short because of Traxa, but maybe they have all 3 or 4 in their hand. It does happen. Well, they're playing Breach combo. So I don't actually think I have an out to this. They're going to go up to 13 here. Could have killed that, but doesn't really matter. 13. Yeah, we're dead. I would play that out if I was in a tournament that mattered. Okay. So Oath, we definitely want our Besages, and we're going to bring in a Cage. It is Breach combo. Don't think this is a Legolas's matchup. Just put some pressure on. Let's try this out. This is not obviously a matchup where I would actively want something like Questing Beast in my deck. I know that I still have the Nombo with the Cage and the Vine's Bloodghast, but it only really matters if we hit that side of the deck. So this is a really nice start if they don't have Leyline. we are going to potentially put our opponent. Well, if we find a second vine, we have them dead on turn 2. Oh, interesting. Okay. It's pretty strong. All right, so I mean, we'll see how good of my opponent's turn is. I'm expecting an Oath of Druids here. A show and tell off the top is unbeatable for us. Yep, yuck. Right, side out all the mind break traps and already feeling sorry for myself. Like if this is a turn 1 Oath, we have a chance here. Okay. I'm not getting Tabernacled. That's the good news. I'm dealing 10 damage coming in. And I'm going to have Grafdigger's Cage. Is this Tinker? Yep, I can deal with that. Just burn your 2 mana, 1 on the top. I mean, they've already used it, but... Okay. I mean, all in all considered, that's pretty respectable for me here. My opponent is low on resources now. A Resolved Oath of Druids could still be a problem if they have a counter spell for my cage. Okay, Saga, I do have an answer to that. They are digging here. It'd be awfully nice not to have to deploy my cage this turn because I much prefer to put a Gaia's Cradle into play, but maybe I just need to deal with the Saga. I'm not 100% sure what's the correct line here. Okay, first let's spin. Don't, I mean, do I want Force of Vigor here? Yeah, I think the endurance is probably just not that important right now. Hope I don't get punished for that. So what if they make a Saga token? Like I'm hitting them for 6 right now. I'm just going to put them to 9. Yeah. I could hardcast Cage right now and play around and Force of Vigor. Kill this. I can leave this, I think. Actually, maybe I'd take that away anyways because of PO. And Tinker. But maybe I kill this and make them flip the top. I don't think I need to get overly reactive here. Like, I don't think the cage is going to matter. Where it does matter is if they are able to time walk me with an oath. I'm going to do it right now. And if they have a force of will, that means they're low on resources, and then I'm just going to put Craftigger's Cage into play here. This stops the breach combo, and it also stops the Oath of Druids from mattering. I mean, I'm going to have Oath beat anyways, unless they were to do a time walk. Okay. Yep. Okay. Cage looking solid there. Okay, round 3. Decent hand. Won the die roll, which is nice. Probably like to keep these in hand, these 3 if I could. Have Force of Vigor to be able to remove any troublesome artifacts. Mindbreak Trap up. Mindbreak Trap is likely the most important of these here. We've got one good piece of discard equity as we stand. We'll see what we draw off our Bazaar. Not bad. Okay, your go. Don't mind a wasteland here. Totally reasonable. Excuse me, guys. Do apologize. I have a chronic cough now. Had it the last couple months, and despite I'm feeling well, it's quite a robust cough. I think I'm just going to cast both of my Hex Drinkers here. And hopefully they both resolve so I can hard cast a Force of Vigor next turn. So my shields are down here a little bit. Getting in for 1. How savage would a Fury be, guys? Can you imagine? Yep. Not sure what we're playing against here, but we know it has Wastelands. This is a substantial amount of damage coming through. 7. Vigor is back on. Okay. Kill one of my Hex Drinkers, I guess. So we're playing against initiative. Okay. Yuck. That is so disappointing. Play another Mox. Okay. Well, probably going to lose to that. Let's rip a Gaia's Cradle or a Wasteland, Strip Mine, Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. So we can pump our Hex Drinker. Never didn't have it. Three, four. I can put this up to 5, and then next turn it just goes off unless they have a wasteland. I'd like to wasteland them here, but it's not going to really work out for me. I just have to hope that they don't have an ancient tomb in hand, and I can put something else into play. I have to pump the Hex Drinker here because I need it to be able to get up to where I can put it into Progenitus mode next turn. That's my gambit. Like, if they have a wasteland, obviously there's not much I can do about it, but I'm still racing for quite a bit of damage here. Dahlia is a little bit of a problem, but because it stonewalls the rest of my creatures, with the exception of my Hex Trigger. So I am going to get it up to Progenitus level, barring they have Solitude. And I can't stop a Solitude. Black Lotus is just very hard to beat out of this deck. Let's see here, guys. I mean, this thing hits hard. Let's just hope they don't have a follow-up here. Okay. Let's hope, guys. Did get there. That was going to be a good draw for next turn as well. Help me pump my Root Wall as well as cast a Vengevine. Okay, nice win. So initiative, I'll bring this thing in, bring this in. Could consider a Pithing Needle. This is very good. I feel like Force of Vigor is not that great against initiative. Like, this deck, if it loses his graveyard, yeah, it sucks, but it's not the end-all be-all. Let's try this. Pithing Needles for Wasteland. Typically, I only need 1 to 2 uses of my Bazaar, but they have basics in their deck. Like, my Wastelands are not as effectual as they are against them as they are against me. Okay, there's a nice looking hand. And they do play into Mindbreak Trap frequently. Not this time, though. Yep, Lotus hand again. Okay, they are playing into Mindbreak Trap here. Now, they're going to get a creature, resolve a creature. I can't stop that. I'll get one of them though, and hopefully I'll get their best one. Oh, they're smart. They make me take Thalia. All right, I have to take Thalia because my trap's off. No Archon, please. Seasoned Dungeoneer. It's pretty brutal, but let's hit a Vengevine here. As I say, Black Lotus is really good. I did hit the vine, guys. Now, they may have Solitude, but if they don't, getting the initiative is pretty strong from them. It looks like we're going to get the initiative here. Now we need to fade a Tabby. Wasteland, okay, yeah, I mean, it's already done its purpose. They don't have any white mana. Currently, anyways, they could have drawn a Mox, I suppose. Pro Mox. They're going to go into the Forge. Oh, Chrome Mox, okay. Presuming they go in the Forge. The fact they didn't have follow-up there is just so huge for me. We're going to get into the Forge ourselves here. Which one do I want to put it on? These can trade with pretty much everything they play minus the Angel, which they're nowhere near playing. And I just think getting that extra damage here with the blazing, like spreading my damage around, is the smart thing to do. Now they're going to deal me a whole bunch of damage here because they're going into the trap. Okay, they did have a plains. But we're going to kill them there. Yeah. I do feel with this deck that I am favored against initiative. Hollowvine is a far worse matchup because they just put down an anointed peacekeeper, and it's just almost impossible for me to win unless I find a Fury or a Pyrokinesis. And of course, we got Wastelanded there. If you don't have an answer to get your Bazaar back, or there's a Thallium play and I can't Noxious Revival, it's just a lot. I think more difficult with Hollowvine. But that said, I do have counters, so we will take it. Okay, Atlanti. Haven't seen this player around in quite some time, but they play well. Luris. Okay, well, this is not one we can keep. This is a great looking hand. Let's see what we can find for discard equity. Vine. We did not find a vine. I think Boseiju probably can go away here. Against Lurrus, it's unlikely that Mindbreak Trap is going to be turned on. They do have like the full suite of Moxen, but I don't think it's common that they go off that way. I think a far more likely sequence we're going to see from my opponent is Wasteland, go. Maybe a Mox. So a little bit of a disappointing start here. Oh, insofar that we didn't apply any pressure. Would have loved a Vine there, or to be able to put into play a Hollow One. But that said, now I'm going to see if I can resolve the Hex Drinker here, and if it does resolve, I think we have a pretty decent chance. If they're on blue-black, like Bowmaster just ravages what I'm doing, but that is what it is. Okay. I had the misstep. These Mindbreak Traps are put to the test right now. Let's see if they can try and play catch up here. Yep, that's not great for me. Wasteland? Well, let's get busy going here. And we will Wasteland them. Building up cards for Bazaar is not a bad thing. Like, we don't have tons going right now. I do think that there is some semblance of an argument here to be made for trying to apply more pressure, but we're doing pretty well, despite we're just hitting with a couple of Root Wallas. I think if my opponent had like a bunch of fast mana, they probably would have deployed it by now. Okay, so let's see if they put this on Bazaar or if they put it on Root Walla. Hopefully it's Bazaar. Well, maybe not, because I want to get rid of these traps. Wasteland. 2. Okay, let's see if they play into something else here. And they might even pick a counter war over this because they need to dig. No. So we want a Wasteland. Okay, that's not the worst. Okay. I'm not complaining, like, really. Wish I had a new fear, but I don't. We're just crashing in with everything we've got here. Like, they're going to have the Construct up next turn, and we're going to lose one of our Root Wallas. And we just hopefully can find a Wasteland on the top. Maybe they don't even have a land, I don't know. Okay, wow. Root Walla beatdown, guys. The B team coming in for the win. I could see Needle for Saga. I kind of just feel like trying Questing Beast. Like, I don't think they're well equipped to deal with it if it gets into play. I feel like, well, Mindbreak Trap is not great. I probably will go down to like 2, and I maybe just bring in a random Dismember. The issue, anyways, let's try this. I'm not going to get too excited. I don't really know enough about their deck and what colors they're playing. Like, they just didn't play any colored mana there. Nice looking hand. Pretty vulnerable to a turn 1 Needle, but being on the draw, I think this is a fine keep. So I'm glad they're not holding up Bowmaster mana here. Okay. Hmm. Beseiju becomes valuable strictly based on the presence of Pithing Needle. Like this is a hand where we're a little bit more reliant on our Bazaar. Probably going to get wastelanded here, but excuse me, I beg your pardon. But in the event that they don't and they put a Pithing Needle down and leave it, I would be more than happy to use the Beseiju that way because we have to sculpt our hand a bit. Now, it doesn't look like that's going to work out for us. Nice to have the Bloodghast coming back here. We're going to spin again. Huh. Probably could have got rid of the Mind Break Trap, to be perfectly honest with you. It is nice having the security of the Black Lotus for Tabernacle here, despite I would gladly cast a Collector Roof here if I had the opportunity. Hopefully they wasteland me again. Now would be an opportunity that I would be okay with that. Despite okay, sweet. And I can even pump my root wall up here. Look at the value. Whoa! Shiver me timbers. Let's go again, I guess. And yeah, we are going. Beseju's lost its luster here. All right, 5 damage coming in. Back when I used to play Hogak Vine, like the Jund version, I used to love pumping up my root wallas. Okay. So this is very much a telegraphed Bowmaster here. Just not going to play into it. Just going to attack in. We'll hold up Legolas's quick reflexes if need be. Probably more likely to use it next turn. So this is a Bowmaster. So it's going to get most of my stuff here. But that's all right, because the Bloodghast will come back. Was not interested in using my Bazaar there. I like both of my lands and my reflexes. We will be able to remove the Bowmaster. Your go. Not crazy about that. Dark Confidant. Geez, I might have to actually hit that instead. I don't know. No, it's got to be the Bowmaster because I'm going to need to use my Bazaar, I think, here. Unfortunately, if I don't find a Wasteland. If I find a Wasteland, I think, okay, I did find a Wasteland, so I'm not as pressured. Close game. Bring my other one back. And we're going to kill that Saga. Twister. Okay. That's pretty nasty with Bowmaster. I wish I had killed it now. But they are drawing me into 7 new cards, which is quite dangerous. Okay, maybe they're not doing that this turn. Looks like they are. I don't know that Legalus's quick reflexes even accomplishes anything here. No. I guess what it does do, well, not really. This is going to be a big old boy they got here from this Bowmaster. And look how bad my hand is, guys. I didn't even draw land. Jeez. Like, could I have drawn a worse hand? I don't think so. Now, I do have the Bazaar, and I'm kind of past the point of being able to play around it. Like, I just have to. They've got the big guy, and there's not much I can do about it now. Yeah, they got it. I'm not going to fight over that. So I am going to do this. They're going to put a Bowmaster in response. That's their line here. Oh, they didn't have it. Okay. And I'm going to put a Root Walla into play. And we'll see if they try and counter this. Like, my Mindbreak Trap is live now. I'm going to hit as much as I can here with this Force of Mindbreak Trap because I think that this is going to fetch a counter spell from them, and then I can just hopefully have it all. Right, like the hope is they force a will, my negation. Hopefully they don't have anything here, but okay. Huge. That's really lucky for me. Of note, I got 3 Bloodghasts coming in here. If I can find a land. Oh, didn't get the land there. But I did hit a Vengevine, which is a pretty good consolation prize. And I'll be able to block this Orc army. No, I guess I can't really get through, but Pithing Needle, does that do anything? Stops Wasteland. That's probably worth it. It's a bit rough if they have Saga, but it just is what it is. And that Dark Confidant over there is pretty dangerous for my opponent as well. I beg your pardon, excuse me, guys. It's unfortunate I couldn't bring those gas back. That would have put my opponent in a losing position almost assuredly. Just didn't hit a land. I have so many lands in this deck. And we're going to hopefully get 3 looks next turn, but I do worry about another Bowmaster coming down. Because the Bowmaster really messes up my board. So we're just looking to top deck a land here. I don't know what I'm going to do if I don't find one. Like it wrecks me pretty bad. Maybe it's worth it. No attack. Okay. Huge. Naturally, it's a wasteland. Okay. That was the best of both worlds. I don't need to do anything. I just attack with everything. Now, Bowmaster does mess me up a little bit. That's 6 life. Maybe I just leave 1 back. Bowmaster just is bad for me. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. But they really need to get in front of a bunch of these. I'm not going to overthink it. They've got 2 left in their deck. I'll let my opponent figure the math out here. We're going to blocks, it looks like. Two, 4, 5, 6. I don't think I need to respond to anything here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let them come in first with the Bowmaster. I think they would have just done it if they had it, but look at this, guys. Probably still didn't need to do that. I probably could have just waited, but Bloodghast. All right. Nice win for us there. Okay. I played this opponent yesterday. They were a bug player. Great looking hand. If they're bug, I feel like Mindbreak Trap is the worst card here. And of course, I don't know that they're bugged, so it is a gamble coming off of that, but we're just going to go about our business here. This like allows me to apply some pressure here. We've got some removal for with Legolas's quick reflexes if need be. Now, they do have Bowmasters in their deck, so they could get me pretty good here, but most people want to kill your Bazaar. That's their first goal, but I guess not necessarily. This is a Deathrite Shaman. Yep. So mana development. Hex Drinker is very strong in these fair matchups. I only have a couple of them in my deck, but so I'm going to show you guys something cool. This is a little bit of an overzealous use of my Legolas's quick reflexes, but watch this. Split second, cannot respond. I'm going to blow up their Deathrite Shaman and get in for 4. Pseudo removal. The split second is just so sick on it. Excuse me. I don't need to Bazaar here. Next turn I will Bazaar. If they wasteland me, I think it's totally fine. As I say, Bowmaster does get me here, but time walk. Okay. I could Bazaar here, but I just don't think it's worth doing. I'm hitting for 6 with these things with my Cradle if I'm lucky. Oko's a bummer if they have Oko. Oof, okay. Oof is not a problem. Perfect. Oh, I missed on the vine. I guess I can hard cast it, eh? I feel like the value of having the extra Cradle here outweighs having an extra Strip Mine, believe it or not. Because if they wasteland my Cradle here, all of a sudden my stuff becomes somewhat nullified. So we're just letting our damage flow in a different way here. I'm not going to attack with my Root Wallace. I'm just going to attack with, they got Force. Okay, well, I'm going to attack in with my guy here. Bring my, oh, I I was going to say, I thought I'd played a land by already because it was a little bit lagged. Yeah, we'll just do that. I mean, it's tenuous, but we are coming through for a substantial amount of damage if they leave things alone here. Put that on death right. I can maybe see a couple of endurance come in. Collector Roof is definitely, I like Collector Roof's really bad. They're playing their own Collector Roofs, so I'm not as worried about playing mine. I guess the question is, do I just want the full set of endurance? Probably. Okay. Like Force of Vigor is pretty bad in this matchup too, but okay, I missed out. I was gonna bring in a maybe a Boseiju, take it a Force of Vigor. Powder that one. Perfect. Okay. That worked out really well. Now we can play around Tabernacle until we get to our next turn. Or I can flash in Endurance. They're going to Wasteland me is my guess. Yep. Okay. Hopefully they didn't find, I'm just about to say a Mox. Because now I can Wasteland and cast something. Just an Oko? Yep. Um, I do think I flash in the Endurance here, guys. This is a little bit on the greedy side of things, but I just think that's where I'm at. I'm going to take their graveyard away. They might force a will this, and I think that's okay. Like a Bowmaster here. Yep. Should take my green root wall here. They do. Smart. They have a force. Okay. Doing well here. I'm going to set my needle on Wasteland. All right. Feel like I'm in a bit of a bad spot with them having 5 mana here, but bug decks are traditionally tough on Bazaar decks, but I feel like ours is pretty set up to swing with them. Yeah, it's awkward because they could have just another Bowmaster here, but not much I can do about that. I gotta do what I can here. No play. I don't think I'm going to attack their mocks. Strip mine. It does work. Not gonna force a vigor here. The mocks. What is this? Wow, that was a weird play. Hmm. Do I care about this enough to take the mocks and the? This just turns on Flusterstorm and Spell Pierce. I guess I do it and just hope the top of my library treats me well. Like taking away their green mana source is not irrelevant here. Okay, I like that. Now it puts them in a spot where they have to find an answer here. The green source, okay. Oko. Yep. And they just wasteland me. Okay, I can't kill that. Yep. I guess a Bazaar would be really nice for me here. I have to put them to 1. And then that puts them in a holding pattern. Presuming they don't have a creature. If they cast a creature, then they've probably won. But if they don't cast a creature and all they do is animate their food token, I will have gotten them. Force of Will was now turned off. Okay. Fetcher's dead. 2 cards in hand. Oh, we got there. All right, guys. That was a pretty nice 4-1 with this deck. As you can see, I've made a couple changes here to my list as we move over. Taken out the Hextreakers for a couple Death Rites. I am feeling like Deathrite Shaman might be what I am looking for with reference to just a little bit of extra help against opposing Bazaar strategies. Because I don't have black mana in the deck, it's not optimal, but it's something I'm going to try out. I'm moving away from the Hex Drinker a little bit, but a nice win for sure there against a tough matchup. And yeah, guys, you take a look over here at our league and like not bad. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-1, 1-2. We did lose the first match there um, to Oath of Druids, which of course is a very difficult match for my particular deck, but we did hang in there and it was close. So as always, guys, appreciate you hanging out. Like, comment, subscribe, and we're going to see you next time.